Hey, thanks, Teresa. Sounds like quite the place over there. Hey, Eric Remelard's struggle with weight loss was a lifelong battle until he underwent a surgical procedure and lost a third of his body weight. But what he accomplished next is something that he never expected. Here's his incredible story.
That's the big one, Hartford Marathon last year.
5 years ago, Eric Remelard never dreamed he'd one day cross the finish line at a marathon. But after dropping 100 pounds, he did just that.
To train for that, I put in about 400 miles.
For Eric, every step on the treadmill is a symbol of how far he's come.
Since I was probably 10, 11 years old, I started getting heavy.
And as he got older, things only got worse. Eventually, he tipped the scales at 300 pounds.
It stemmed from inactivity, a lot of spending time on the couch watching TV, and very bad eating habits. You know, I was the type of person that could sit down and eat a whole pizza myself.
His weight was impacting more than just his health.
I have 2 kids. Keeping up with them was difficult.
That's when Eric decided to turn his life around. He opted to have weight loss surgery at Midstate Medical Center.
You're going from having a stomach the size of a football to a stomach the size of a banana.
Since then, Eric's life has changed drastically.
It's a lot of opportunity that I didn't have before. I'm not as self-conscious about myself, about going out and doing things and talking to people.
To date, Eric has run about 20 races. His new favorite pastime has even become a family affair.
And my son actually ran a 5K with me this year.
And Eric doesn't plan on slowing down anytime soon.
Right now I'm actively training to run a marathon in March. I'm looking at running 3 marathons this year.
A feat this once 300-pound man will never take for granted.
I never doubted that this was going to be a success for me because I was driven. I knew I wanted to make it work.
What an incredible story. Joining us now here live in studio to tell us a little bit more about Eric's weight loss procedure is Dr. Aziz Ben-Brahim. He is a bariatric surgeon from Midstate Medical Center. Doctor, welcome here to CT Style yet again.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Absolutely. What made Eric a proper candidate for this type of surgery?
Well, number one, I wish I could exercise like Eric.
I know, right? he was working there.
He's doing great. Eric has body mass index was more than 40, and he has medical conditions related to obesity, morbid obesity. That's how he was a candidate.
And we were talking earlier, it's not always about just what you eat. There was new research that we were talking about how people in the future can possibly take the bacteria from certain people and put it in a pill, and then that could help combat obesity. Is there any truth to this, or do you? Well,
the issue of severe obesity, it is a metabolic disease, and the solution ultimately in the future will be metabolic with either a hormone or so. Diabetes 100 years ago, people thought that people were diabetics because they were eating too much sugar and insulin was injected. So for obesity, I think there is a truth into some type of hormone that will treat that. I don't know yet about the bacteria, but there's a lot of research.
So maybe down the road, but for this specific surgery, the bariatric surgery, tell us about the process for this for an average patient.
Absolutely. Surgery now, obesity surgery is one of the safest surgeries because of a lot of work that has been done. The patient before undergoing surgery need to go through thorough workup, which takes in our program about 6 months. This is including nutrition, psychological and medical evaluation, since the surgery itself is very critical, as well as severe obesity is attacking every single organ in the body. That's why we need to make sure we take off and land safely.
Sure. What's the recovery time for something like this?
Actually, because we do surgery with laparoscopy and with the robot, and at Midstate where 3 of us do the same techniques, patients actually recover well, just like in a gallbladder or so. The issue with this is that they are still now learning how to eat and how to exercise.
Yeah, because it's a total change to your body, right?
Absolutely. As far as the pain and wounds, and this is just like in a gallbladder surgery or anything simple.
What advice do you have to people who get the surgery? Obviously, as you said, their appetite changes a little bit. What advice do you have for some of those patients who they're kind of shocked, like, whoa, my body's telling me something different, but I'm still hungry. Am I hungry? Am I not hungry? How do you handle that?
Well, actually, to be honest, especially with gastric bypass or the sleeve, we have issues with some patients I'll ask them to eat or drink because suddenly the appetite changes. They have much less appetite.
Wow.
Yes.
Huh. So helpful to the patients in some sense there. Also, there's some free information sessions that are going on right now. If you're considering this type of surgery, bariatric surgery, when and where are those happening? I know we have a few here in Connecticut.
We have actually in Meriden, we have in Bristol, in Farmington, in Plantsville, and actually we'll be starting in Wallingford also. All these are free informational seminars, and they're really very, have a lot of information about our patients.
Okay. And to reiterate, it is January 20th at 6 p.m. and January 25th at noon. And this is every month in, as he said, Meriden, New Britain, Bristol, along with Farmington. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more about bariatric surgery, sign up for a free bariatric surgery information session. All you have to do is log on to midstatemedical.org/events for a complete list of the upcoming dates and locations. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us here today on CT Style. And welcome back here to the States. I hear you were just in Chile.
Yeah, so my kids, they just flew up last night.
Very nice.
Yeah.
So you had a good trip?
Excellent.
Very nice. Well,
okay, thank you.
Thanks again for joining us. Hey, coming up